All right, everybody. Let's put ourselves in the perspective in 1984. Cars have been a tough go since about 1972, but horsepower, it's coming back. We're breaking 200 horsepower again. We're moving in the right direction. Corey Hart's got his sunglasses on below me because it's so hard to watch, but it's okay. We've got heroes on the horizon. We're busting ghosts. It's 1984, man. Things are looking up in a lot of ways, and one of the biggest ways is probably, well, it's not pop culture per se. This isn't for me, but Tony Danza and this lady are going to find out who the boss is, and I believe in them. And as a matter of fact, their research led to this guy, so maybe that's the guy. But we've got a new Corvette for 1984, the first full redesign ever. This is the first car that is not a body on frame, all new design, extremely high tech, world class supercar. $25,000 in 1984, about $75,000 today. 205 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds. Okay, completely new design, totally 1980s. This is America's pride here, and the automotive press is hailing this car as the best Corvette ever, the fastest American car you can buy. It's nothing to scoff at, and you're comp shopping. It's 1984. What are you going to look at, right? You're going to consider other stuff. You're an educated consumer. So before you pull the trigger, this is the stuff I think you're probably going to end up looking at. And one of the first cars I think is going to be the Porsche 944. You're close in price. You're a little cheaper, 21,000, 63,000 for inflation, but 143 horsepower, 0 to 68.3. The performance just isn't quite there. It's a lot of money. It is a Porsche, but it's kind of the entry level Porsche, and I don't think the nice interior and everything, the rear wheel drive, the manual, that's great, but I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's worth the cost savings. So I think you'd move on from a car like this and say, you know what, it looks good, but it's just not for me. The engine, it's smooth, but it's not making the power I want. You're going to keep looking, and you're going to say, okay, upmarket. What do we got? By the way, that car did have a transaxle design used in the C5 Corvette. Neat note, a little ahead of its time. You're going up market. What are you going to look at? You're going to look at the Porsche 928. Now, this is the car that GM actually used as a benchmark when they designed the C4. But you'll see $45,000 in 1984. It's about $138,000 today. It's a very expensive car. Performance nearest makes no difference, identical to the C4 in terms of straight line. And the C4 actually outhandled this car. Gorgeous interior, but this is a lot of money for a guy shopping in 84. Man, that Corvette looks tempting from a performance standpoint. And he's probably going to say, you know what, 138,000 adjusted for inflation in our money today. I can't do it. What else can I look at? Maybe I should be frugal. But who knows? So he says, let's look at the Camaro. It's a great car. Let's go frugal. 10,684, 32,000 adjusted for inflation. 0 to 60 in 7.5. It's a nice performer, but it's a little too blue collar. He wants something upscale, and he didn't aspire to own a Camaro. So he's going to keep looking, and he's going to look maybe at some imports. So just all things considered, looking around, what else have we got? Well, we've got the Supra, the Celica Supra, a little bit expensive. A lot of people didn't realize 14,084. That's 42,000 adjusted for inflation for a straight six with 145 horsepower, 0 to 60 in the high eights. So not the fastest car, but an 84, respectable, but just leaves you wanting a little something more. It's definitely not on par in terms of performance. And when it comes down to it, you hop in the car. It's got good looks on the outside and everything. You get in the inside, the interior is good, but it's a bit pedestrian. It feels like you're hopping in a Corolla or something. It's just no, it's just not the one. So you keep looking. You're thinking about the C4. Man, this is a bargain for 25 grand. Maybe an RX-7. Now these were actually quite expensive, $16,000, 48,000 adjusted for inflation. But you know what? That's just a lot of money for not a lot of car. It's quick, but no, can't do it. Maybe a 911. Well, a 911 was cheaper than a 944 or a 920, 928. Amazing performance, faster than any cars here, 0 to 60 in 5.4. But you know what? Still just a little expensive at 111,000 adjusted for inflation. Not an option. Can't do it. Want it? Can't. Maybe the 300ZX is the answer. And this was a good car. The 300ZX Turbo, very comparable straight line performance, 200 horsepower, 0 to 60 was close at 7.3. Kind of expensive, 18,600, 56,000 adjusted for inflation. Good looking car, also new for 84. Very 1980s, very modern. Turbos were cool at the time, all the rage. But at the end of the day, you're saving a little money, but you drive one. Nice interior, good fit and finish, but you're sitting up high. You've got a lot of body roll, and it's just like, I'm missing that race car feel, you know? So you walk away saying it's a good looking car, but it's not worth the little bit of savings. I should buy a 928. Wait, I can't afford that. I can't afford it. I'm frugal. I'm gonna buy a Camaro. No, I don't want a Camaro. I just don't want a Camaro. And that's the point of the C4. Even in 1984, this car created really its own space in the automotive world. And it was the fastest slalom test record by Motor Week at the time, the best handling American car of 1984 from Motor Trend. When this thing came out, it was profound. It beat the final shootout test at Willow Springs, but against every other American car in 84, sorry. You've got massive production success, 51,000 cars built over 18 months. There really wasn't another logical choice. It was a phenomenal car. It did everything. It stopped just shy of the record 930 Porsche Turbo at the time. This thing set near as makes no difference, broke every record out there, especially for the dollar. And I'd be really curious to see. In hindsight, obviously, a lot of people probably regretted it compared to the value of the other cars. But in 84, you can really see here, compared to the competition, why someone would buy this car over the others. And I think it's a testament to the amazing engineering in this car. And I know this video is silly and short, but I appreciate you guys watching. Please subscribe and keep the C4 relevant, you know? Thank you.